1 in 6 people worldwide experience loneliness, and it's been linked to about 870,000 deaths per year. Your immune system gets weaker, your sleep quality drops, and you become more sensitive to rejection and judgment, and it's even been compared to smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Now, all this actually makes sense because back in the day, if you were excluded from your tribe, that literally meant death. So your brain treats loneliness as a survival level threat. So in this video, I'll talk about 3 ways of how I overcame loneliness and how you can do the same. Number 1 is I started spending hours outside of my house. In 2024, my walking distance was about 9.3 kilometers per day. And that's not including any workouts that I did. It's just me walking outside after work. And there's something about being outside. It's the air, seeing real stuff, hearing the environmental sounds that just makes you more relaxed. And I think the biggest problem for most people is always this overthinking, analyzing, a lot of bullshit. And it's much easier to not overthink when you're outside because you have all this natural external stimulus that you don't have inside. And even filming this video now is so much nicer and much more calming to do this here now than to do this in my room. Step number 2 was I started initiating conversations with people outside. Now, going outside is gonna be nicer, but it's not gonna give you any social connections if you don't initiate conversations. And so what I did is I started talking to women, and it was actually quite nice because it allowed me to generate many romantic connections. And in that same year, 2024, I dated more than 100 women in 1 year. But what's even cooler is that I had multiple hundreds of conversations where nothing happened. We didn't have a date. We had a magical moment for a few minutes. And every day I went home with a smile on my face. And the beautiful thing about cold approaching women is that if you approach a strange man as a man, you don't have any context. Like, are you trying to sell him something? Are you trying to ask for directions? But when you do this to a woman, the biology did already the context for you. You're a guy, she's a girl, and she knows why you're there. And you can talk to any attractive girl. There's a purpose for you to be talking to her. And it's funny because as kids, we're always told that stranger danger, don't talk to strangers. But in the last few years, I realized that a stranger is just a friend you haven't yet met. And most of the good things that have come in my life in the last years have come from talking to strangers. And finally, the step number 3 is traveling more. So in the last few years, I've lived in Barcelona a few years. Now I've been in Madrid for about 8 months, and now I'm going to Germany and maybe potentially Argentina. Most surprising reason why people don't travel is actually not money, but because they're afraid to start from scratch. They're afraid to be lonely because they don't have any connections. The beautiful thing though is if you do steps 1 and 2, and if you learn the beauty and art of cold approach and meeting people in real life or women in real life, then you don't fear starting from scratch because you can generate opportunities everywhere. I remember that here in Madrid, in my first week, I didn't know anyone here, and I went on 3 dates that first week just by talking to women in this city. And when you have that ability, you feel much more freedom in your life. If you want to go to a specific country, you can go. If you want to visit a certain continent, you can go. Making connections doesn't become an issue anymore, and you don't fear that loneliness. And when you travel, you get to experience more of the world, more of the cultures, and just more of life. You get more connected to life, more connected to people, and that way you eliminate loneliness forever from your life, which is what I did with my personal life. So if you're feeling lonely right now, that's the process that I encourage you to take. Go outside, learn to meet women in real life, and if you're interested in how to do that, I made a video on Honest Guide to Cold Approaching. You can do this anywhere in the world, Europe, USA, Asia. I've had students in all countries. So this video will show you how to do this in your city and how to start this beautiful process of not only meeting women in real life, but eliminating loneliness forever.